Hello and welcome back to Raising the Vibe. Today I'd like to have an introductory discussion about food. As I mentioned in the welcome video, the food that we eat is very important and it has been used to facilitate the spiritual and mental warfare that has been conducted against us. And so it is very important that we think about, we pay attention to, and we learn about the types of food that we should be eating. As I discussed in the welcome video, we'll talk about food a lot, different aspects of the food, and all kinds of things about food. But right now, I just want to give an introduction. And what I want to say is that the food that we eat is not just something to give us some calories to run or to fill our bellies so that we don't feel hunger pangs, but the food that we eat is designed to interact with our cells, to provide information to our DNA, to turn on certain traits, to turn off others. The food is way more important than we've been led to believe. And we Black people are connected to this earth. We belong here, we're meant to be here, and the things of this earth provide us with nutrients and information and things that we need to be healthy. So with that in mind, first and foremost, we need to be eating fruits and vegetables primarily. Those are the foods that are created by nature to sustain us. And the more we eat the fruits and vegetables in the manner in which they are grown, the healthier we will be, the stronger our bodies will be, and the more clearly we will be able to think. Because there is certainly a gut-brain connection. And so what you're eating directly affects how you feel. It also affects how clearly you can think. And that's why there is such an all-out attack on our food. And so I understand that not everyone wants to be vegan or vegetarian or any other label that one might apply, but we are human beings and we're designed to eat fruits and vegetables. And if you don't do anything else, start eating more fruits and vegetables. If you can cut down on meat, that would be beneficial. The meat that is provided to Black folks across the globe now is certainly in America is injected with hormones, is grown rapidly so as to be slaughtered for profit. It is not grass-fed. There is nothing natural about it. The slaughtering process is filled with trauma that is in that meat and transferred to you and your cells when you ingest that meat. So if you're eating meat, it would be best if you could eat grass-fed, sustainably raised meat. Perhaps you could try only having meat for one meal a day for a week instead of having sausage, bacon, whatever meat you're eating at breakfast, and then chicken and turkey in your food at lunch, and then going home for a steak at night. Maybe for a week you just eat meat one meal a day, be it breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Maybe you could even try going without meat for one meal a day. But if you don't do any of that, eat more fruits and vegetables. That's what we are intended to eat. And for those of you who are still religious, then you know the Bible says that for Adam and Eve in the garden, they were allowed to eat the fruits of all the trees except one. So fruit is, according to the Bible at least, mankind's first food. Surely you ought to be eating mankind's first food. Live, raw foods like fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds contain more nutrients, and they contain enzymes that help the body to detox and that help the body to absorb nutrients. So I'm always going to be encouraging you to eat as many fruits and vegetables as you can. The more fruits and vegetables you eat, the more full you are and the less room you have for other things. And then let's just talk briefly about some of the things you really want to avoid, and that is processed food. You know, the things that come in the boxes with the polysorbate and the disodium phosphate and all of those chemicals that we cannot pronounce, that are not food, that attack your liver and other organs, that throw your cells out of whack, that your body doesn't even recognize as food. If your great-great-grandmother or grandfather were here and you plop down in front of them a box of Kraft mac and cheese, they don't know what that is. That's not food. That is a chemical concoction designed to make you more susceptible to the mental programming that's taking place all around us. And if you live in society today, you're being exposed to it on at least some level, because it's in the movies, the TV shows, the songs, it's on the billboards, it's all around us. And those chemicals help your brain to be more susceptible to that programming. I watched a video, and I'm going to go back and find this video. I thought that it was a video about an original African woman talking about her first encounter, or her tribe's first encounter with white people. It turned out to be an Australian video, because of course we know that the so-called Aborigines are the black folk that are the original people all across the globe. But it turned out to be about an Australian and her tribe's first introduction to white people. And she said that when they first saw the white people, they were afraid. They'd never seen any people with skin that looked like that, and they were afraid. But there were some other Aborigines with them who said, oh yeah, they're safe, they're fine. So they came out and they met with them. And guess what? Guess what the white man did? The white man gave them food made of flour and sugar and something called treacle, which I had to look up, which is sort of like sweet sugar that you lick, something akin to a lollipop. And do you know what these people did as a result of being introduced to those foods? Well, at first, they hid the food, because they never said it's not food according to what they know. So they'd never seen it before. So they were digging holes and surreptitiously hiding it because they didn't know what to do with it. And then the white men said, where's the food? And they admitted they were hiding it. No, we want you to eat it. We want you to share it with others. So they ate some of the food. And of course it tasted good. When have you ever had something with sugar and refined flour and all of that sort of thing that wasn't delicious? And guess what? The people were thinking, well, it's so, they were foragers. They went around and dug for food and that sort of thing. And this food seemed much more easy to obtain. So in exchange for that food, they agreed to go out and get dingo scalps, which is what the white men were going to get. And then they would take those scalps and take them to the major town and exchange them for this food. And then the woman said, well, she had said this initially in the video, that they used to be happy and everybody used to be healthy and they lived life the way they had known it. She said, but after they started eating this food, they began to get sick and die off. And the ones who did not want to take the medicine from the white people died. And the other ones, as we know, had to keep going back to get the medicine. And she talked about her own case and how her insulin, her sugar numbers were so high. And she was embarrassed because she thought she could eat the food without it having that effect on her. And that she went back, they show her like taking grass seed and shaking it to get the dirt out, you know, to get the healthy food, and how she ultimately went back to eating the traditional food that she had been eating, and that she wasn't having any more problems with her health as a result. But I'm telling you that that food is a basic part of that spiritual warfare. And it contains ingredients that dumb us down and make us docile and make us receptive to the programming, make us more willing to obey. And so the first step to thinking clearly and to beginning to be able to begin to realize what is going on this globe is to change your food. And I did make some notes to bring out some certain points, but I think that that is enough for this introductory video. We'll talk more about food as we go forward. If you don't remember anything else, just remember, I'm going to eat as much fruits and vegetables as possible, and then I'll fit in whatever else I'm going to fit in. But these are just a few of the reasons why the food that we ingest is so critical. Until next time.